Hey everyone, I'm Jeremiah Florence, a Georgia 4-H Technology Ambassador, and today I have a very special guest with me, Chief Sullivan, whom is the City of Camilla's Fire Chief, and I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself before we get started.
Well, thank you, Jeremiah. My name's Jamie Sullivan. I'm the Fire Chief of the City of Camilla Fire Department. I've been in the fire department for about 10 years here with the City of Camilla. We run a one-station department serving the greater Camilla area for public safety, first responder, fire suppression, fire safety education.
Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this interview. So Chief Sullivan, what are your roles and responsibilities as Fire Chief?
As Fire Chief, that I coordinate the fire department scheduling, make sure that we have enough staff present to provide the services we give to our community. We also make sure the budget's in line, looking for repair equipment. Even today, we have a fire truck that needs some repair. We have a technician coming down to work on one of the fire trucks. I coordinate those kind of things. The firefighters actually do the day-to-day operations. They go through the fires, they manage the scenes, the wreck car crashes that we go to, medical calls that we respond to, or any rescues. I do support them on a larger event. I will go and help them with that. But my primary role is managing the department, making sure it's a day-to-day operation and flows. The firefighter works a shift. A firefighter shift is 24 hours on and 48 hours off. I'm a Monday through Friday administrative person, so I'm here coordinating. If you find something wrong on the weekend, report it to me. Then on Monday morning, I'll come in and make sure we get the right people en route to work on it or replace a broken part or whatever we need to do.
Thank you. So can you just describe your daily routine or like a day-to-day overview?
Honestly, my day-to-day routine is a lot of emails. I do a lot of emails. We use technology here. All the employees are tied to email. We all have smartphones or smart devices. They all have their employees have their own, but they've opted into getting their city email to their smartphone, their smart device, and we communicate via that. We use calendar appointment a lot. We make a lot of calendar appointments to coordinate who's doing what needs to be done, and we do that way we can stay on track with calendar appointment using technology for that.
Okay, thank you. And on average, how long does it take to become a fire chief?
Well, I've been in it for I'm in my 41st year now. I've completed 40 full years. Now, my role is public safety in general. I've been in law enforcement and fire service. So I've done a combination of both. So it's not an easy answer. It depends where you're at and if you go, the different programs to go to. I went to a 2-year college program for firefighting, fire science, technology, and management. So that did a lot of the fire officer programs. So in the nation, we use a national professional qualification system for firefighters. So they have a NPQ, National Professional Qualification, Firefighter 1 and 2. Then I have an instructor 1 and 2. Then I have fire officer levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's when you become the fire chief at the fire officer 4 level. So as a firefighter, you're just firefighter 1 and 2. Then you become an instructor and train other firefighters. Then if you're promoted to the first line of rank, whatever your department, every department uses different terminology. Some's a lieutenant, some's a sergeant, whatever the terminology, but you go to fire officer 1. And fire officer training is not really about fighting fire. It's more about managing people, managing budgets, understanding policies and procedures, and tracking state laws that may affect the fire service. As things change, fireworks, for example. In Georgia, there was no fireworks for many years. Well, they've changed the law where we can have fireworks now. Well, the fire service had to get really educated and involved at a policy level on just understanding what's legal and then trying to protect the public from making mistakes by doing ill-advised things with fireworks. So we want to do fire education, fire safety programs, and focus on fireworks coming up around the 4th of July, which is in a couple of weeks from now. We want to make sure it's legal to do them, but we want to make sure that people do it safely. So that policy and procedure, so we'll understand that, then we disseminate that information throughout our ranks to the people so everybody's on the same page.
Yes. And as I already said before, what are the services that a fire department provides?
Well, it varies from city to city. Now, this fire department, we do fire suppression, of course. That's the number one thing. We're here to put out fires. And fires can be dangerous, you know that, of course. But fire, what is the other reason to that? One fire could affect 2 or 3 families if you don't get ahead of it. So we are fast first responders for suppressing fires, putting out fires. So what is our number one cause of fire? Is kitchen fires. So we try to really educate the public on kitchen safety. People will turn a pot on and forget about it. Their phone will ring, they walk off, get in a conversation and forget the pot's on the stove. Or they'll go and, whatever reasons, they forget about leaving the stove on, and that's our number one cause of fire. So that's our priority. Number one thing that we train for every day, majority of our equipment is dedicated to, and our emphasis is on suppressing fire. That's what we want to stop fires. Second thing is rescue. Now that could be from a car crash. You've heard of the jaws of life, the rescue equipment, the hydraulic rescue tools. We go to car wrecks to help people get out of, if they're trapped or endangered, entangled into a vehicle, we get them out of that. We make sure the scene's safe with traffic flow around the car crash, and we make sure the environmentals are taken care of at a car crash. Battery acid's bad, radiator fluid's bad, so we make sure we contain oil. We make sure we contain all those spills at a car crash too. So that's fire suppression, rescue. Third thing is medical calls. We do assist. We're not a ambulance service, but we do first responder. We go to major events, heart attack, we can go help do CPR, and we take AEDs with us when we go. If we're there first, we may use the AED before the ambulance gets on scene. We also do stop bleeding if there's a trauma, any kind of cut. If somebody falls off the roof, they're up on the roof raking leaves off their roof and they fall, we respond to that. If they're on their roof and have a heart attack, they may need our rescue services to get them off the roof. So we do primary fire suppression, fire safety education, vehicle or rescue, if you will, whatever kind of rescue it is, and medical response.
Sounds good. And since you're a fire chief, why do you say it's important to have a fire department in a town or community?
Well, it protects the community. We're about first responders are about safety of the community. We look at this as our community and everybody in this community. If you live here, you're definitely our customer. If you're passing through on the 4-lane highway, you're still our customer. We want to provide a level of safety and protection for you that makes your day's life happy and safe. And that's our number one goal, is to make sure everybody gets home safely. So that's it is that you don't want a city to burn down around you. You know, you want it to be healthy and thriving. You don't want businesses to burn. You want them to be healthy and thriving. You know, if your grocery store burned, then where we're going to buy groceries? You know, we're almost in a food desert anyway, so keeping those businesses open is part of our response. Now, we work hand in hand with the code department with that. So people sometimes codes are important to make sure we don't have fires, you know, and to make sure if a fire starts that people can safely get out of the building, that the exits are not blocked, that the businesses have fire extinguishers, that homeowners have smoke alarms. That's one of the big things that we look into, is having public safety for the homeowner. Hold on just a minute. We can take a break. Can you pause that?
Now, the last question that I have is, what advice do you have for someone who wants to be a firefighter?
Being a firefighter today is really, anyone can be a firefighter if they want to. It is strenuous though. It is, especially the line firefighter. You need to be in physical health. You need to complete high school, or a minimum you have to have a GED. That's a state law requirement. You have to have a clean record, so there's a criminal background check. So those things are the most important. That's life skills. Keeping those things for every job, any job you want, is important. But being a firefighter, it's a mechanical type job. It's really, there's some book work, there's some mathematical formulas dealing with hydrants and the flow of water through nozzles, but it's not real complicated math on that. But being mechanical, the use of the power equipment like chainsaws, the use of a rope, how to tie knots in a safe way, in a certain way. Climbing ladders is important. Can't have a fear of heights. So we have a pretty tall ladder truck that you have to climb. So you having those kind of work skills, work ethic is the biggest thing we look for. And as life goes, as things advance, technology is a big part of this department. We use tablets in our apparatus. We have a direct link to our 911 center. They use a computer aid dispatch. So if you dial 911, the dispatcher at 911 enters that data in the computer. They call us on the radio, of course, and get us en route. But they also backfill us information as we're on the way through notes in the CAD program that comes to a tablet in the apparatus. Now, I'm proud of that for a city this size, having that kind of technology and connected to our 911. So yeah, that just work ethic is come to work, come on time. So being a firefighter, I have to be honest, it's a lot. You have to work on weekends. Not every weekend, but you work weekends, you work overnight, you work holidays, so it's around the clock. We're here 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. The fire station is manned. There's people here. So holiday, Christmas Day, Thanksgiving, somebody's here. You know.
That's all for this interview, and thank you, Chief Sullivan.
Thank you, Jeremiah, for coming by.